Okay. It happens in 3, 2, 1.
This is the morning stream, but it's not in the morning, it's at night. Tmspm.
It's not exactly true. It's morning still for us today.
Yeah.
Brian, Scott, morning stream,
Right.
PM. Here we are.
It's PM, though, in more parts of the country than it usually is.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's lunchtime for pretty much
more parts of the world, I should say.
Or yeah. Everybody's either eating or going to bed. The further left you go. Wait,
Right.
The further right you go. The country's left, you're right. All right. Anyway, it's good to be back, and you might think, hey, you guys sound like you're just a couple of dudes in the morning. No. We have friends with us. This morning we did Film Sack, and at the end of Film Sack we decided why not just have everybody carry over into a good time. And so I'd like to welcome...
let's be honest. They
Yeah.
begged us to let them stay.
I know.
Please let me be on your show.
I felt like we just had to cave.
Run away. You're disgracing yourself.
Oh,
Get
is
up
he?
off
All
those
right, get off the
knees,
floor.
man.
I'm already a disgrace.
My toe is in your mouth. Ew. Anyway, what grossed me out today? That. All right. Hey, let's do this. It'll be fun. Having you guys here is great. So we got Randy Jordan all the way from California. Hello, Randy.
Aloha, Scott, Brian. Notice I reversed the Bryans this time.
Yes, you did.
Oh.
Because it's a different show. So.
Yeah. Don't look up
Wow.
reverse
hi,
Brian on the internet. Don't look for reverse Brian. It's bad. It's naked. It's
Yes.
bad,
Nope.
bad.
Nope.
Then also
And
Brian.
it's actually illegal in some states.
It is. Urban Dictionary's got you covered though. Also Brian Dunaway all the way from South Carolina. Hello.
Oh, hi, Scott and Brian
Hi.
and Randy.
Hi. This is
Hi,
yeah.
I want to know right straight up right now.
Yeah.
What happens
What,
if we
Paulo
go?
Abdul?
What happens if we abolish time zones and everybody goes to a single unified clock all the way around the world?
I
What happens?
have no problem with it. Nothing happens because for us,
Right.
you'd have to change it though so that the numbers no longer meant what they used to mean. So midnight can't be a thing anymore. If it's just 24-hour military clock, that'd be okay. But we got to stop thinking about those numbers as being lunch or evening thing or whatever. So
Yeah, well, you couldn't use the phrase "it's 5 o'clock somewhere"
Yeah.
because it would only be 5 o'clock everywhere.
Well,
Right.
you could say it at least once a day, right?
You could say it once a day, but you
Once or
couldn't,
twice a day.
You couldn't use it as like a reason to drink. It's like, well, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Nope, it's not. It's 3 o'clock everywhere, and you're lush.
yeah.
I thought Swatch already figured this out. I thought that Swatch gave us Swatch time back in the 80s already. I
what
thought
was
that a
Swatch
thing.
time? I don't remember that. Was that a thing?
Yeah, you don't remember Swatch time?
No.
It's like they came up with this unified Swatch time or something weird. I remember vaguely something about that, but happened there in the 80s.
Hold on, Swatch time.
So like their whole thing was going to be that everybody was all on the same exact time.
Oh, he's right. Oh my gosh. Okay. I remember hearing about this now, but I forgot all about it. Swatch Internet Time, it's called, or Beat Time. It's a decimal time concept introduced in 1998 by the Swatch Corporation as part of their marketing campaign for their Beat watches. So the way it worked was 24-hour time, let's say, is 15:03:18. So 15 hours, 3 minutes, 18 seconds. Beat time would be at 668.96. Now, how that works, there's a whole Wikipedia page. I'm not going to get into it, but apparently it's a thing. I had no idea.
Totally a
So
thing.
so
Totally a thing.
basically, this is how we get to Stardate. This is the
Pretty
first
much.
step to being able to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
Stardate.
Getting off the Earth would be the first thing. Once you get out, the day-night cycle, then time gets different, right?
Right.
But, I mean, we all agree that having 35 to 40 time zones is stupid, right? Like, it's just
100%
dumb.
stupid. I agree. It doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense. And then while we're at it, let's get rid of daylight savings and the whole hour back, hour forward thing. Like, let's be done with all that. We don't need it. I guess during 99, when they were really pushing this thing, it was not only part of their watches, but they also convinced at the time CNN, the role-playing game Phantasy Star Online on the Dreamcast, and I'm trying to find one other one. Oh,
It was
PHP
99, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
PHP's date function in PHP code used it. Ericsson's T20e mobile phone used it. That's insane. Were there people really going to go this way? They were going to, like, were we going to really get 100 years later and go, boy, remember the historic moment when Swatch changed us all over to beat time?
When we went with a watch manufacturer that made clear straps, and as their claim to fame.
Yeah.
It would certainly make things so much easier, like when you're trying to coordinate with somebody to say, no matter where they are, and you're trying to like organize a podcast thing, saying, are you available at 3? Yeah, I'm available at 3. You don't have to say, are you available at 3 Mountain Time? Oh, hold on, let me figure out what that is in. Make things so much easier.
Well, I don't understand why podcasters don't do like the news does and just have a big wall full of analog clocks all set.
That's making it worse. No, that's the other direction.
Right.
We're coming up on 50 years since UTC was invented. It was invented on January 1st, 1960. 50 years ago. And weirdly, UTC stands
almost
for
60 years ago.
Universal Time.
That's 59 years ago. Almost 60 years.
Yes, 60. That's what I'm saying, right?
Okay.
Whatever.
Well, if we had some kind of calendar that was universal. Go ahead.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous that we can't just stop with all of these little subdivisions. They're too many. It's dumb.
And here's the cool thing: we could keep morning and evening as descriptors because it's all relative, but we couldn't use the descriptor afternoon because noon it becomes an irrelevant concept.
We'll just go as the sun is highest in the sky for you.
But no. You actually, so this is where I would actually diverge from your idea.
You couldn't have afternoon delight anymore.
I would say I think you still can because it's a colloquial sticky thing. It'll stay, just like when you say put those documents on my desktop doesn't mean your literal desktop anymore. It means put it on your computer thing, which is all virtual.
Did you tape the game?
Yes. Did you tape the game?
No one uses tape or anything anymore.
Right.
And those words would then evolve further.
Right.
Like we no longer have time zones. Those things would change naturally. We can't imagine what that would be like, but it wouldn't be bad. That's the main thing I'm trying to get across.
I'd be okay with it. Yeah.
I think we should do it. Let me give you how this beats thing worked in terms of structure. This is just interesting. Instead of hours and minutes, the mean solar day is divided into 1,000 parts called dot beats. Each dot beat. Boy, this is early for 99, isn't it? With this dot
I don't like. I'm already not liking this part of it.
Yeah. Well, it says each dot beat lasts 1 minute and 26.4 seconds. 1 beat is equal to 1 decimal minute in French decimal time. So,
by the way, saying dot beat feels like the equivalent of saying www.google.com.
It does. It sucks. But the way that they've written this, it's all in quotes and it's always a dot beat.
But you could just say beat, right?
I could probably say beat, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it says each centibeat. Oh, now we're getting
centibeat. That'll never work here. Yeah. I'll need that in inches, please.
Centa beats me.
So what would you call it in inches? It'd be inch a beat.
Inch a beat.
Yeah, or beat your inch.
As the inchworm goes, an inch a beat.
There you go. Well, this has been educational, as the show often is. So if you're hearing this and you're like, man, I really want to integrate this in my life, here's how you got to do it. 1 day is 1,000 beats. 1 hour is 41.6 beats. 1 minute is 0.694 beats. That's not confusing. And then 1 second is 0.011574 beats. But
it'd be kind of cool. It would be kind of cool to say, hold on, I'll be with you in a beat.
Yeah,
in a couple beats.
That's true. Yeah. But that sounds like you're masturbating and you're not ready to talk to them yet. You know what I'm saying?
Many beats?
How many beats?
Oh my God, what are you?
It was over in like 3 beats.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna go on that date again.
I like the term beat. I like the term beat when it's used in like story context or movie context. Like I really enjoyed that story beat. I like that term.
Or a nice goat cheese salad with beets.
Oh, pickled beets.
We all like goat cheese, right? Everybody's in agreement on that.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you like
but only I'm not gonna. I don't. Like, it's not a snacking cheese, but I do like it when it's mixed with the right things, like an arugula beet salad. Sure.
A snacking cheese. What's a good snacking cheese then? Because I don't know if I know that.
String cheese is a very good snacking cheese.
String cheese.
Mozzarella. Even little like a cube of cheddar.
Okay.
Not a brick, but a cube.
How do you feel about any of the stinky cheeses? work in that context or no?
Only with a cracker. Like only if you
You're
smear it
already
onto a cracker.
so we got that covered.
Exactly. So like I'm talking about a snacking cheese is a cheese that you just can eat on its own. Like if you go to a fancy party and they've got trays of food and stuff like that, and they've got a stack of toothpicks or a little thing of toothpicks right next to a plate of cheese, the little cubes of Swiss and cheddar and stuff like that, great. But they're not going to have like a
go to
bowl of
parties.
goat cheese that you spear with a toothpick and shove in your mouth.
Right. What do they call that? A charcuterie.
Charcuterie.
The only thing I know about cheese is what I see when I go to Publix.
But Publix has stepped up their game in some of those things
Have
Yeah.
they?
over the last few years.
We don't
they
have a
have,
Publix.
like,
You're
you
going to
know-
have to explain because we don't have them here. So what do they do?
It's like the Piggly Wiggly, Scott.
Don't have that
Oh,
either.
it's nothing like the Piggly Wiggly. You can't confuse the pig. And that's what we call it. The pig.
Really? You call it-
Yeah, you can't confuse the pig with the Publix.
Do you think that
Publix is high dollar.
are they? Okay. That was my
Yeah.
question.
Pig is where you go to get your meat cut.
Really?
And it happens that I have a friend who works for Publix, like at a high level in their headquarters, and they're trying really hard to keep up with like Whole Foods, and this kind of thing. And of course, Whole Foods, since the Amazon moment, has become this completely different thing. I don't know if you've been to Whole Foods.
I have. It feels different.
Whole
It
Foods.
does feel different. It's very weird. And they just announced. I mean, I don't know how the richest man in the world does this with a clean conscience, but they just announced they're cutting all part-time employee benefits of any kind, which previous to now they got some medical and some other stuff, and they're going to slash all that, and that bums me out. I mean, he could literally drop money. You could go shake his couch, whatever changes in his couch free, and it would pay for these people's medical stuff. But anyway,
as the rich people often do.
yeah,
Big pockets of change in their pockets.
Well, what was that old thing they used to say
coins.
back when Bill Gates was the richest man in the world, which I guess you could just say this about Bezos now, but when they walked down the street, if they dropped a $10,000 bill, which I don't think even exists, but let's say there was a $10,000 bill and they dropped it on the street, it costs them more money to stop and
and
even
pick
just
it up.
look at it, let alone pick it up, than if they just kept moving, which is
Keep on moving. Keep
crazy
moving.
to think about, right? Like that's just too
Yeah.
much money, but whatever. Anyway, how do we get on that?
I just want to point out, I would love someday to explore these kinds of things like Publix and what the cheeses are there with Brian Dunaway, and go to his home and then come to where I live, come to coastal California, and just go into Albertsons. Like
I'm gonna say I've already been to Albertsons.
I think you would be shocked at how much cheese and wine is on display and for sale. in
Don't
the
forget I lived in
grocery store here.
Right. Don't forget I lived in Phoenix, Arizona for a while, and I got out towards that way occasionally. So yeah, I've seen the crazy grocery stores, and I felt like a hobo when I came back and went to the Pig, and I'm like, this is not this is not what I'm used to. All the varieties.
It's funny
But
because
the Pig is great. The Pig is always there, man.
I've been
Don't
there
have to
to
worry
the-
about the Pig getting sold out.
I've been to the Pig a few times when I was in the South, and it always felt like this is just going to be here forever. This will never not be a place you would go. But here, like we have this place called Harmon's that's local.
Oh, yeah.
And but they're considered super high end fancy, and they're fighting tooth and nail to try to be as cool as Whole Foods. And in some ways they succeed because the food's really good there. But I don't.
Do you
know
have
if they-
Trader Joe's? I know,
We do
I know,
now,
Randy.
yeah.
I know you do, of course. But
Yeah, we got Trader Joe's
Yeah,
as well.
we have 2 or 3 Trader Joe's in Salt Lake, something like
A
that.
trois.
A
Was that 3? Did you go French all of a sudden on us?
Trois.
we have
Trader
Trader
Joe's.
Jose's.
I have a trois. But yeah, like if Trader Joe's,
Trader Jacques.
if Trader Joe's was like closer to me, that's all we'd do.
Yeah.
That's the only place we'd probably
Yeah, I
go
like
because I
Trader
like
Joe's.
Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
yeah. Even though I feel like I'm eating peanut butter made on by a bunch of sweaty Indonesian kids or something, I feel like I always wonder where that food
I
some of
thought
that
it was like the opposite of that. Like I thought it's all supposed to be, really good, locally sourced and all that.
is it
stuff.
supposed to? Maybe
How do you say it? Locally sourced.
Locally sourced.
Oh yeah, there is. Little Ike says Sprouts is like that, but we have them here, and so does Brian. We have Sprites.
We
out
have
here.
Sprouts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sprouts used to be something else, didn't it? Like was it sunflower or Maybe that was just here that like all
Seed.
the
Was it
sunflowers
seed?
got.
Seed. Yes, it was seed. It was germinated seed. Did you ever have that
That's
story?
right.
It was fantastic. Chat room's like freaking out that I would say this
Does
about.
Jeffrey Owens work there as well?
Chat room seems concerned that I would bring up the Indonesian kids. I just thought they were like the discount, get it anywhere you can get it thing, but I must be wrong about that. I just know the prices are good, so I assume that the sourcing was less than,
Yeah, I don't know.
great. Well,
They're always trying to give me free stuff away whenever I go into Trader Joe's. They're always trying to give me something free.
like what? Why
I'll
don't you
take
want
it,
that?
dude.
That's good.
I don't know. Anything in the counter. Yeah. It seems like I'm like, I'll stop and talk to them. The more I talk to them, they're always like, yeah, dude, just take this with you. I'm like, am I stealing this, or are you just allowed to give me a certain amount of things?
Are you saying more than just like little samples and little paper cups?
Yeah, yeah. I'm not talking about. I'm not that big of a hobo. I don't like. You guys give away free food at this table. Sample it. Sample it. Is this French?
I can have this pretzel stick.
I can have this pretzel stick. No, I'm talking about prepackaged things that are in the in a box. Just it seems like they randomly give me stuff occasionally. I don't know why.
I question whether or not that's an employee offering you to do that.
Right.
I think that's just some
No, just go ahead and take it. Just take it, man. They won't say nothing. Take it.
someone just hoping that they can get somebody to do it.
It would be a lot of fun to go into a store with a little fold-out table and set it up and just take things off the shelves and open them up and
Start
serve them to
get
people.
them.
Well,
Like, how long before
shit.
you'd get kicked out?
I
would like.
don't
to
know if this outs me as some kind of weirdo or not, but back in the early days of my marriage, like in the 90s, mid 90s, we would make a point of going to Costco on a Saturday because that's when all the hairnet ladies would come with their little samples, and we just walk around and eat samples all afternoon. I mean,
And that's the reason they check your card at the door, right? The reason is to keep people who aren't members from going in there and just eating all the free
That's
samples.
a
It becomes
good point.
lunch. Like they say there's no such thing as a free lunch. Oh, contraire. It's Costco on a Saturday Saturday at 11:30 noon.
yeah, and I'd also
I love that it's September 2019 and Scott just figured he might be outing himself as a weirdo this moment.
Yeah, exactly. If you're new to the morning stream.
every once in a while you do a thing and you forget you did it, and then you think back and you go, "Oh, was I hoboing it at the Costco all those years where I just go around
What's
and
your-
some good lady give you a little noodle thing in a cup and you were happy to get it."
Girl, give you a noodle.
What's your
Can I get this
take
whole
on
noodle?
the when you go to the frozen yogurt place and you've got the little paper cups to sample the frozen yogurts? How many of those is too many before you're?
If it were
Before
me,
you're stealing.
so here's a fun thing. Is another fun fact. I've never actually done a sample at one of those places.
What?
I know.
Really?
My wife does. My kids do. I never do. I always know right what I want.
Is it a clean thing?
No, I just know what I want. I'll go in there and go,
Oh,
that's
you
the
don't.
flavor I want.
No,
You don't know
You
what
really
you
don't.
want.
So,
You think you
just
know what you want.
just a couple weeks ago, we were out with friends at a restaurant, and everybody was like, "Let's all go to this ice cream shop for dessert." And so we all drove across Irvine to this ice cream shop called Churned, and I'd never been there, and I was looking at all the flavors, and I was like, "I need to sample this one flavor," and I got a flavor that was bad. It wasn't just, "Oh, I don't like that flavor." I mean, this batch of ice cream was bad.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
I'm
So it's like yeah.
I am so glad that I sampled it before ordering it, because it might have been a flavor that I usually trust, right? And so I sampled something else. I liked it. I got that. And by the way, that ice cream shop went out of business permanently a few days later. But
Nice.
it just like,
Thanks to
you
an
gotta
anonymous
get
call from
you
me.
gotta get samples, man.
Well, here's
you're
okay.
crazy.
So here are the cases where I have. So yogurt shops in particular, I just have never gotten one. Ice cream shops I have, but it was always them saying, I'll go, ooh, peanut butter, whatever looks good. And they'll go, you want to try it? Oh, yeah, okay, I'll try it. Then I'll get a sample of like ice cream because they offered it. But I never walk in there and go, all right, I'd like a sample of that and that one. And then we get a little palate cleanser. Okay, let me have that one now.
Man, you ain't living, Scott.
There is a gray area between all those. Like you could go into one and just like, oh, all right, I can't decide between the s'mores and the peach sorbet, and so you take a couple samples.
I just feel like they must hate it, you know?
I feel like 3 is an appropriate amount before you start.
Yeah.
No,
getting,
3's the
getting
max.
Kind of yeah. If you get more than 3, it gets starts getting uncomfortable. They're like, okay, dude.
It just feels
Tristan.
it just feels like they hate you when you do it, and maybe 3 is
Too
the
bad.
happy number.
I don't
They
think
don't
they-
hate.
I don't
They
think
don't
they
hate you.
care
They hate
at
their minimum
all.
wage job. That's what they hate.
I
That
don't think
hate you
give
see is
two squats about if you take 11 and walk out of there and go to the Firehouse Subs next door for
They don't care. They
for
don't
lunch.
care.
They don't care one bit.
Yeah.
Tristan
Yeah.
once said that if he ever was forced to kind of live on the streets and and be have no money and try to get food, he said, I'll just come to one of these places and eat
on bringing this issue
froyo.
to the fore.
I don't know why that's playing. Is that me? That was me. Sorry, go ahead.
It must be you.
Browser.
But he came up, he said he'd be the froyo hobo.
The froyo hobo.
The froyo hobo.
I
If you think
that.
about
There he
it,
is again.
Yeah.
since we are film sack infiltrating the morning stream, if you think about it, movie trailers are like samples, and
Oh.
they could. I genuinely believe there's an audience out there that would pay for some certain movie trailers. I think.
Really? So you mean alternates?
Wait.
Alternates to the ones they're already making, or what? Like if
Yeah, I think there's Star Wars fans out there. Maybe not the last 2 years, but before the last couple of years, there's Star Wars fans out there that I think would pay to see a trailer. In fact, I'm pretty sure I've known people who have bought a ticket to another movie that they
sure.
never intended to see,
Yeah.
just to see a trailer.
Yeah, but then you just go and see another movie. Like, if it's a multi-theater complex, you time it so that you can go into theater A, see what was that? That was the Phantom Menace. Like
yeah,
there was
people
some
paid.
other movie at the time that people would go and pay for tickets for, but they'd go and see the trailer for the Phantom Menace and then go and see their other movie.
The Matrix had, and that wasn't a hard call because watching The Matrix over is just fine. But The Matrix had Phantom Menace trailers ahead of it during a part of its run, and I know I had friends that were seeing the Matrix over and over and over, not for The Matrix, but to see that trailer. Which, by the way, I've had a coming to Jesus moment in the last few years, and I'd like to share it now with everybody else. With Star Wars.
Okay.
I've gone on record unapologetically. I enjoyed the last one just fine. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's terrible. I think it's just Star Wars. And I've come to this conclusion. Anything that wasn't seen through the eyes of my 8-year-old self and then the eyes of my adult nostalgic for my 8-year-old eyes self it's okay. There's nothing about Star Wars. This is going to be controversial, but it's not as it's not as good as y'all think it is. Like, and this is me whose entire life was shaped by Star Wars. Don't get me wrong. Like when you see this stuff as a kid, it molds you. It puts you in a new place. It's important. And there are kids who are my son's age, 19, who grew up with the prequels, and they do that for them in a pretty strong way. And we all go, "What? The prequels are shit." And what we have forgotten, what the truth is. The truth was what I'm after here. Is that Star Wars was never good to mature eyes. It was always good to young people, and then it grew with them. And can we expect more? Yes. Maybe the Mandalorian series will be awesome? Yes. I mean, all these things are possible. But I'm just saying, it's a built-in truth that it's not as good as we think it is. It's just fine.
I have a life philosophy. that I try to live is called people can like things. And I don't care if you like something, I may ask you why you like it, but you never have to explain to me why you like it. Now, if you hate something, I may dig further, and you're allowed to hate things too, but I'm a little bit more, I want to know why you hate it. I'll approach it a little more.
It's because of this that I have a sticker on the back of my car that says, "What would Dunaway do?"
Right.
I try to live by that philosophy.
You got to live by that.
You know what?
You're allowed to like things, people. You're allowed to like them.
100%. You're allowed to even really, like, if you feel the way I do about Mad Max Fury Road, I'm with you. I understand why you feel that way. But I also understand there are people that look at me when I talk about that movie and go, "What are you talking about? That is so not me."
Right.
I'm related to people who feel that way.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I'm married to somebody who feels that way.
exactly. Like some people out and out hate it. I get it. So I know it's not, there's no one size fits all or even two sizes fits all. There's no way that's a thing. But I just, for me, have come to this realization that it's not Disney's fault. It's not J.J. Abrams' fault. It's not the actor's fault. It's not Star Wars' fault that I'm now in my middle age and that I have my anchor point for all of it is when I was 8. It's not their fault. It's not my fault either. It's just that's how it works. That's our brains. That's the way it works.
So
bim bam boom.
there's kind of a nature versus nurture thing about audiences, and I wonder if this means that you are kind of moving toward accepting that George Lucas was perfectly good at making prequels, and the audience had changed so much that they were no longer willing or able to accept that he was just doing what he had always done.
Right. Yeah, and a lot of people would.
And you got to remember too, he is a person, and as a creator, had changed. He had grown.
He's a
When
person,
he
and
made
his
Star
name
Wars,
is Anakin.
I know. When George Lucas made the original Star Wars, go back and look at some of the pictures. That was not the same man physically or mentally. He's changed a lot. I'm not saying for the bad or the worse. I'm just saying life changes you, and you look at things different.
Right, and that's okay. All of it is 100% okay. That's where I've come to is if somebody, even if it seems like cognitive dissonance, where they say, "Oh, the Phantom Menace is my favorite," and I have a friend who feels that way, who's roughly my age, and I say to them, I want to say to them, "Are you okay? Should we have you checked? Like, what's wrong with you?" Like, I want to have those things, but I'm learning more and more just to go, all right, whatever toots your bag, like go for it.
Suits your bag.
It's totally fine.
Dude.
And I'm stoked about this final of the new trilogy to see it. I'm stoked about the Disney Channel or the Disney Plus stuff that's coming from Star Wars. That doesn't change how excited I am about all of it. I'm totally jazzed about it. But I'm not going to go in anymore and go, this wasn't precisely how I felt when I was 8. This director must be flogged and then hung upside down, and then we must yank on his penis.
Right.
You know?
I'm going to start a petition that says we need to redo the movie.
Yeah, I don't F that. F those guys, dude. Oh my gosh. I'm going off now. Calm me down.
I love how Scott's accent for that was mid-Atlantic and it was like dweeb from an 80s teen movie.
That's right. It's the guy on Porky's that nobody likes. Yeah.
That sounds about right. Well,
Pee-wee?
anyway. Pee-wee. Kiwi? What?
Is that who was in Porky's?
Pee-wee. Right. Yeah.
No, maybe.
I love that Dunaway knew that. Brian Dunaway
right off
never
the bat.
changed.
All right, wait. Let's do a quick quiz for Dunaway. Name me 3 characters from Revenge of the Nerds. Go. 3 characters from Revenge of the Nerds.
I can't do it.
Sure
I can't do it.
Give me Booger. I'll give you Booger. Booger.
Yeah, but his name wasn't Booger in Revenge of the Nerds.
It was not Booger.
I'm sorry, it was Booger. No, I'm sorry, it was. It was McGillicuddy or something in Moonlighting is what I was thinking.
Oh yeah,
right.
He's not.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah,
It's hilarious. When I wasn't
Lamont Luttrell. Don't forget Lamont Luttrell.
Yeah, would you please ask me this question and make it hard like that? I love this. This is so awesome.
All right, give me some
Come
names.
on, Dunaway.
Give us 2 more.
Well,
Come on.
There's a big difference. I mean, when we're just having casual conversations, I'm only using like 20% of my brain. When you ask me to use 100%,
Okay, chat doesn't know this, but we had this big discussion, Film Sack, about how much of our brains we use, because movies use that trope all the time. Like, if we could use more than the 10% we only get access to, imagine what we could do or whatever. And that's that. Just so you know why we're talking about that. So sorry,
that's
Dunaway.
the reference.
Yeah, that's the reference. I still want to be confused, because we had this whole discussion they haven't heard.
Yeah, no, exactly. They're
about
not.
that stuff.
The only ones I could really just pull off is like, just like Poindexter and then Booger and.
Who was the big scary one?
Oh, of course.
The big scary one.
The one that goes nerds.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Booger, isn't it?
No.
No, but it does contain
Hold
all
on a
the
second.
letters in Booger. Or contains 4 of the
Yeah,
letters in
yeah.
Booger.
Hold on a second. Oh my gosh, I'm
Sounds like Booger.
brain fart
Yes.
here.
I'm blanking
Oh my
on that
God, I
name
can't
too.
think.
I'm blanking on it too.
By the way, people in the chat room, 3 or 4 people have reached out. Booger's real name, Dudley Dawson. Brian, it's Dudley Dawson. Dudley Dawson, Brian, it's Dudley Dawson.
Yeah.
Is Booger's real name.
Yeah. Booger,
They're so helpful.
Is it
over
Ogre?
there.
Ogre is correct.
Ogre is correct, yes.
Yeah. Now that you say it, I know it. Oh,
What
and
was,
chat room's
what was the woman's name? They kept saying her name too, like she was this unattainable
Right.
trophy.
I want to say Betty, but I definitely know that's not right.
Yes, I think it was
Yeah,
Betty.
Betty Childs.
Oh,
Betty
God.
Childs.
You
Betty
got it,
Childs,
dude. Look
yeah.
at you.
What
You
is this
did-
stuff that is tucked in the back of my brain?
Well, you're accessing more of your brain. And
Yeah.
check your pants. Make sure you didn't poop because you had to use that part to think of this. But so that's what we were saying is that if we used all of our brain, all of our breathing and natural functions would stop. or they would all be taken over because you were like, give me full power, Mr. Worf. Or
Exactly.
Whatever.
If you're fully managing each piece, you wouldn't want to do that.
Right. Take all power away from life support and apply it to our shields.
Yeah, which
you
happens
don't want to have to. Right.
Hold on, Riker. Wait a minute.
You don't want to have to manually think. You don't want to have to manually think. Hold my butthole. Hold my butthole. Hold my butthole. You don't want to think that. You would prefer that to be on autopilot, so that you're not.
Right. And the only time that you should even be reminded that you have a butthole is when it's
right.
It tells you, hey, we're full up here.
When that's just come back in, it's like, hey, I've been holding this.
It's the only time you want to know. Otherwise, you don't want to be all day going butthole, butthole. Like, you don't want to think about it.
Just imagine that. There's a whole section of your brain that all it does is sit there and think butthole, butthole, butthole all day.
That's all it does. Job. Yep. Its entire job is to worry about your butthole or to worry about your breathing or whatever.
You had one job, and when you failed,
it's the anatomic system. But I wonder if it's split up so that there's one little cluster of neons what are they called? Whatever they are, one little cluster of neurons that are like on just full butthole duty, and that's all they do.
Right, exactly.
Oh, I love
Punch
that
in,
concept.
like one guy punches in, the other guy's wrapping up his day. Oh, hey, good to see you, Frank. Yeah, good to see you too, Bill. All right, have a good night.
Yeah. All right.
How was work, honey? Oh, it was all buttholes today.
That's right. Just in front of a big control panel with one lever on it.
Oh, I gotta tell the brain he had Chipotle. Tell him early. It's 3 o'clock.
Not now.
Not now.
So then I guess when you actually are using, I'm going to take this all the way.
Go ahead.
You're actually using the toilet.
Yeah.
There's a conscious part of your brain that is a huge crowd of personalities.
Yeah.
Right.
And they all shout down the thing that's on butthole duty.
Yeah. Basically,
they're all screaming at him, and he's no longer able to keep the butthole closed.
Yeah,
because the conscious brain is overpowering him.
Yeah, no, that's
and the butthole opens.
To Tmspm. It's different.
Happy Saturday morning, everybody.
It's that movie, that Osmosis Jones movie plot was basically
that's from Chris Rock, right?
Yeah, Chris
and
Rock was the cartoon.
I gotta bring it back to the Revenge of the Nerds. Something I know for a fact about Revenge of the Nerds, one of the characters was a guy named Takashi.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of the actor who played Takashi.
Oh.
But that actor later provided voices for Mists of Pandaria. That's a true story.
Now, did he play the guitar?
It's not the same Luck Duck Dong guy, is it? No.
No, I don't think it's the same guy.
I don't think that's him.
Oh. I don't think so.
But do not feel poorly about you having that in your head, because it's exactly the image I have right now. I can't picture anyone.
I'm just picturing the same actor, and I know, I'm not at all saying that I think they look alike. I'm just saying that I know that guy has been in so many other things.
Yeah.
The guy that played Lung Duck Dong, and I thought,
sure.
So wait, in Mists of Pandaria, he was just like a bunch of NPCs, or what? Did he do anything that I would know?
There may have been a named character in there that he started. I never retained that. I just know the guy who played Takashi in Revenge of the Nerds did voice work for Mists of Pandaria.
Not Getty Watanabe is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Correct. No, different guy.
Also, I'll just say this because we're about out of time here before we kick you guys out. If there's a movie that is meant to be remade today from the 80s and meant to be a raunchy comedy, because people are all into those now again, right?
Oh, yeah.
Hangovers and all the whatnots. Why isn't Revenge of the Nerds that? Why has that not happened? That seems perfect. We now live in the hacker era where these guys are taking down the whole school because they're computer nerds. They control, think of all the modern stuff you could insert.
I guess that's the problem, right? Because they're no longer the underdog.
It would need to be Revenge of the Jocks because...
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I have this much darker idea that it would be Jordan Peele's Revenge of the Nerds.
Ooh, I like that idea.
Think about what the movies Jordan Peele has been making lately and just go from there.
Yeah.
Us and Get Out, yeah.
Oh, here he is. World of Warcraft, Miss Pandaria. That's awesome. Sorry.
I just watched, by the way, finished my binge watch of the final season of Enterprise, and the last episode is Riker using the holodeck to go back and see the Enterprise's last mission.
Yeah.
And at one point, He's in there with he makes himself the chef so that he can talk to all the crew. It's really dumb. And at one point he does like he's in there with T'Pol, and he goes freeze program, and then when the program freezes, then he kisses T'Pol on the cheek, and I felt like that was kind of an inappropriate thing for him to do.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
the little Me Too movement in space. Is that
a
what you're saying?
little bit, yeah. That struck me.
Well, all right, nice. I'm glad we got a report on how it was going with your binge.
I did just kind of close up my Enterprise binge watch with that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. All right, well, it's been a real treat having you two here. Before we bring Dan in, we should mention that Film Sack, of course, happens every week. We do a movie a week. If you've never heard of the show, you're insane. It's 10 years old now, or will be in October. And we've been up to all sorts of fun. We just did, what did we do today? MI5.
MI5.
Yeah. Next week we're
But
doing
next week,
Vampires.
get ready.
Vampire's Kiss. Vampire's Kiss, guys.
Yeah.
Finally, which I've never seen. Have any of the four of us seen
I've
Vampire?
never seen it.
Nope. I have friends. How about you, Dunaway?
Dunaway?
You've seen everything.
Nope,
right?
never.
No? All right. I have friends.
I'm ready
Well,
for it.
particularly.
We've probably all seen that freak out scene of Nicolas Cage and compilations and stuff, but that's about it.
But who's the one that told me? Oh, John Jagger is the one that says he tells me at least once a month. Are you guys film sacking this yet? Are you guys film sacking this yet? Like he seems to think there's no greater film sack target than this, and so we'll put him to the test this coming weekend. Yeah.
Nice.
Anything else you guys want to say on your behalves before we kick you out of here?
No, I really enjoyed this. It's been fun. I didn't expect a Battle Royale type trivia question, but we got one.
Yeah.
So
Good job, Booger.
Roll.
Never forget Booger.
Booger.
Brian
Booger.
Dunaway, everybody.
Ready.
The Brian Dunaway on
Booger.
Twitter. He's the
Booger.
man. Booger. Also, Randy Deluxe at randydeluxe.com. Do you still have that domain, or do you? No, you don't have that anymore.
No, I haven't had it for a while.
Oh.
It just, it's one of those things. Like, I'm all right. I don't need it.
You're okay?
But got that Twitter.com/Randy Deluxe.
Yeah,
That's
the Randy it continues on. Oh, I just tried to look it up. Your browser cannot find the server. RandyDeluxe.com is not opening. But you can find him on Twitter and all other kinds of places like that. So that's great. Randy,
It is great.
Yeah,
It's so great.
have a fantastic week. We'll look forward to seeing you.
Control your buttholes.
Soon. Bye.
Did that like it was the end of a Film Sack episode. You see what he did there?
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm impressed. He kept he kept that up. Nice job. All right, we have a fourth guest, because you and I are regulars. Wait, 1, 2, third guest. I was right the first time.
Third guest, yes.
Yeah, and his name is Geek Jock Blog, otherwise known as Dan Patrice. He is on deck to get in here, and we're going to hang out with Dan, talk about some games for the weekend, and maybe one or two things about how we all take care of our buttholes. I don't know. It may come up. Why can't I find your thing? Gosh dang it. Here, I'll play this.
It's like gutting a fish. First you make a long slit, then you take out everything that isn't meat.
All right, there you go. Oh, it's because I'm in the film segment. Dan Patrice, all the way from North Carolina. So we've done South, now North. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I was able to chase away guys from both sides of the country today.
That's right. Yes.
Well, we're thrilled to have you. Oh, you went black for some. Oh, there you are. You're back.
There
I
you
see
go.
you now.
Or, somebody on Carson, when you would bring out like Stallone, and then after them is like Anthony Edwards, and everyone's like, well, bring back the other two guys.
Nah, we like having you here. I
Ben
am
from Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah. I think that having you on as a what are you? You're dessert today. We've just had a full meal.
Yeah.
And we got room for Dan.
Tasty dessert topping.
That's right. So Dan, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Do you help dispense medication in your real-time full-time job as a professional in the world of pharmaceuticals? Do you have a pill that helps people better control their buttholes? Do you know what I mean? Like, if somebody's got a problem where they just can't keep it shut, what do you recommend? What do you give people? You don't just send them to the Pepto-While.
I don't think there's a pill for that. I think it's
if you're talking about the muscles being all janked up and things like that, there's not really a pill that's going to necessarily close that. But a lot of times you'll have, this is kind of the things we talk about, the anti-diarrheals. Like you'll have Imodium or Lamodal, which will slow down the GI so that you're not going quite as frequently. And that's usually, when you have the diarrhea too much.
All right, let me make this worse. Can I put an object? Can I put an object in there, like a physical dam? Is that possible?
Well, sure, but you're not going to get it from the Walgreens.
Why not? That's
Butt plugs
discriminatory.
are on aisle 5.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
exactly.
Oh, I didn't think of that. That's an actual thing people are into.
Yeah, it is like right there in the name.
Oh. All right, but that's probably bad because you do need your natural process to,
Yeah, well, I mean, medically, if it's going to be that bad where you can't possibly do that, a lot of times you're probably going to have an ostomy where you might have your GI rerouted into a bag.
Yeah, bum bag.
And that's a severe medical problem.
Yeah.
Not talking about a little bit of anal leakage.
Yeah, which, who among us haven't had that once in a while? All
so
right.
I wanted to bring up another thing from Film Sack.
Please do. Please. I'm begging you.
Brian, Scott, a couple episodes ago, you were talking. Oh no, I'm sorry. It wasn't that. It was Current Geek.
Yeah.
We're talking about Friends recently.
Yes.
Fountain.
Oh, the fountain.
Yeah.
Dan's cutting out. Hold on, let me try a different region.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can get you in central. Let's see if that fixes it. Oh no, I should do east. What am I doing? Let's go east.
My camera and see if that helps a little
that
bit.
might help. Yeah, your bandwidth seems weird.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so sorry, you were talking about Friends, and they're all in that fountain. Oh yeah, I haven't talked about this with Brian, so this is a good topic to bring up.
So Scott said how the fountain is one of the most disgusting things in his head because of all the germs that would be in there.
Sure.
Because let me give you the context. So especially in the pilot, Brian, how through the rest of that series they intermingle the fountain intro with other bits of that season, and that's all part of the intro, the little clappy bit, like they mix it all together.
Right. They show clips from the show along with the 5 or 6 of them jumping around in the fountain and
in the pilot it's all fountain all the time. So
oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you get nothing but fountain in that first episode, and in the rest of the season they will use parts of the fountain. And there's one part they use, not all the time, but occasionally it'll show up in a season. But for sure, it's in that first one where Chandler is lying back
spitting
in it, and he's got a mouthful of the thing. He looks back and forth and then just spits like a big spout of it up in the air. And all I can think about is that is a nasty ass public fountain full of like change and bird shit. Who would do that?
Do you think it's the actual water from the fountain, or do you think you just had a water bottle, like had a grab
Probably
one from the
that.
craft table and said, "Oh, look at this."
Probably that, or it was a fountain
Could
on the
this
set.
be any more disgusting?
Who knows what mood they were in? Maybe they were just, they caution to the wind. But Dan, anyway, there's your background.
We had a trivia question that we bombed on that was, who is the last person, or who is the person on the furthest right in the opening of Friends after they go from the fountain to the couch?
Because someone is it the person who pulls the lamp and turns the lamp off and the building lights go off? Because that happens at the end of the fifth.
I cannot even remember, and
or is it somebody that's twirling a umbrella?
That's the thing I can't remember. I just remember we failed at that question. We had a 1 out of 6 chance of getting it right, and I think we said Chandler and it was Ross or something.
Is it Ross? Oh, now I can kind of picture it. Farthest right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Ross because he's taller and he's got a big back. But I'm pretty sure.
I love that that's the reason. He's taller and he's got a big back.
Yeah. And for some reason in my head I have Monica pulling the lamp string. So if that was the question, that's who I'd say there. But now I'm not sure. That's a fun, dumb trivia question. But anyway, Dan, your point of the whole fountain thing.
Well, my point of the whole fountain thing is bird crap aside. So bird crap aside, the water that's in his mouth was probably about 10 times cleaner than your normal flora that's in your mouth.
Ew, really? Even from
your mouth is a cesspool.
But even from a public fountain like that, like a let's say it's a Vegas fountain, like a fountain in Vegas.
Oh, you would
so
not
probably.
Like if I took a ladle and went down into the Bellagio fountain and pulled out a fresh glass of that and horked it down, like that's worse or better?
Some of those fountains are probably so treated with so many chemicals that it probably kills so many things in there. I mean, that's why I say, like, bird crap aside, the fountains that you might see in Caesars when you're walking around in there, outside of the, broken down copper or anything else that was on coins. My whole point is that your mouth is so dirty with things that are just absolutely harmless to you, but are just disgusting. That's why they always say that a human bite is about 10 times worse than a dog bite.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
Just-
interesting. So if I get bit by a stray dog versus like a homeless guy, I'm way more worried about the homeless bite. That's what you're saying.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Interesting. I didn't.
You might want to, you stop poking the homeless then.
I did. I do have a memory of the. There was a. Oh shoot. What's the name of the show? Mythbusters, where they tested man mouth molecules in a petri dish, and then they did a dog. And the man one was like a giant furry green monster the next day, and the dog's one was barely anything.
Oh.
So let a dog lick you guys is the bottom line. Just let them lick your face.
Actually, you should always let a dog lick any of your wounds too, because the dogs have pretty much natural antiseptic, and that'll help clean out your wounds. I wouldn't say go search for a dog to lick your wounds, but I mean, I wouldn't worry too much if they were licking a little cut you have.
Don't pry the dog's mouth open and like.
Definitely don't do that. All right. Well, with all this medical advice, surely we've got also a board game advice for this week.
Well, I wanted to bring up something else too. You're talking about all the different supermarkets out there and stuff like that. One of the biggest things that I had. So this is mid 90s. We're not talking about 60s or 50s. When I came to school down in North Carolina, I went to Campbell University, and it was in Bowie's Creek, North Carolina, in Harnett County. Now, this was a dry county at the time when you couldn't even buy alcohol at the grocery store. But I would be walking down the grocery store aisles, and people would be smoking as they were walking down the grocery store aisles. And that was just like, it wasn't necessarily legal, but it was kind of commonplace because people didn't give a crap, and they just smoked wherever the hell they felt like it.
Yeah.
It was the most disgusting thing ever to try and go grocery shopping, and people are just flicking butts on the floor.
That sounds awful. That sounds like the most 1972 ass grocery store idea I've ever heard of in my life. It's like airplanes. Like, when did we think that was cool?
Yeah,
when was that a
right.
thing? Oh my gosh. Like, you forget
was
now,
nasty.
because now everywhere you go, it's like non-smoking. If you're going to smoke, go outside. And it's fine. It works out great for everybody. But just imagine a time where everybody's just and chucking butts and ashtrays everywhere. And what a dumb people we are. We're a dumb people. We're so dumb sometimes. All right. Now, board games. Board
Talk
games?
about today, game wise, was I know I had sent this to you, and I put it in the Discord. I wasn't sure if you guys saw it. It's something that's new on it's new on Steam right now. It's been out for only a couple of weeks now. It's called the Lord of the Rings: The Adventure Card Game. I don't think I had shared this with you guys before.
I've seen
this
this
is
on
kind of
Steam.
the-
I assumed it was just another attempt to make a branded Hearthstone clone, but you
Oh
probably
no! This is based on the LCG that's out for Fantasy Flight Games, and this is kind of everything's contained in the box, and it's a cooperative game that you're playing against the game itself. So it's not a Hearthstone where it's one-on-one. There may be some modes in this game, but I've only been playing kind of the campaign mode and things like that. But you're kind of making your own deck, and it's centered around, you pick kind of 3 heroes from different kind of classes or different main disciplines, and then you kind of make a deck up where you're going against the game, and you kind of go through different challenges and such, and then the game will spawn like spiders and things like that. But the way you're kind of playing it like a very normal CCG. Now, it's not a direct one-to-one clone from the LCG, but it does borrow heavily, and it kind of changes a little bit. The LCG in real life was a little stale. It was a little boring at times, and it could get very repetitive. But from what I found for the LCG on Steam, is it changes it enough where it actually keeps it fresh and new, and it really does feel like a lot of those good CCG tropes that we're used to. But again, it's more of an LCG. You do kind of unlock some things, but you're not really paying things on top of that. There is a DLC that has more campaign to it, but it has a good campaign. You're making up your deck to go through different challenges. The tutorial is absolutely great. You guys would absolutely love the tutorial because it teaches you a lot of the basics of the game. Again, it's a lot of friendly stuff that you're used to with this type of game.
So
it's really good.
Boy, does it look like Hearthstone. I mean, just the way the things move around, the way the little icons drop on the playing field. But I like the look of this a lot. I mean, I like the cards that they show close-ups of and things like that.
what does
Of
the
course, I
L
love
stand for in
Lord of the
LCG?
Rings.
What does that mean?
Living. It's a living card game. So basically it means that just kind of everything is contained in one box. I think that's kind of their branded thing from Fantasy Flight.
Okay, because
They wanted to show how you didn't need to buy packs on a living card game, even though they usually put out like monthly packs and stuff like that. But that's kind of their business model. But LCG being that it's just everything is self-contained.
I really like that as a concept. I know it's the monetization model that Hearthstone and others use, and so I understand why they do it. But the whole opening packs, hoping you get the cards you want. Oh, I got a bunch of crap. Better burn those. Like, I don't like that. That's never been what I've liked, and it makes me leave those games much quicker than probably other players do. The idea that this is all in here, which is more like a deck build, like a true deck builder.
Exactly, it's similar to that, right?
Yeah,
that's much more interesting to me. So I'm gonna have to. I mean, it's what, 19?
19.
Yeah, I think it's $20.
Okay.
Both platforms, so Mac and PC. I'm
gonna do it.
Crazy because I want to wait until this comes to iOS because it probably will come to
Probably
iOS.
will. I haven't seen anything from the developers that when it is or when I'm trying to see they have some press
But it
releases.
is Asmodee, and Asmodee has not been a stranger to porting stuff to iOS.
Oh right, yeah. Asmodee Digital has a
Asmodee.
ton of stuff. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this does get the treatment real soon. I'm just not sure about the release date, but I'm sure it probably will be, and it'll probably be a little cheaper, and it'll be out probably for iPad and such. Because that's not a hard thing to
against
port.
Sauron's turn.
Yeah. Oh. It's always his turn. But here,
Yeah, that's scary. He's always looking at you.
Let me ask you this. So artistically speaking, it seems like they're not trying to just look like the Peter Jackson look. This looks like this is old. Some of it maybe is reminiscent of that, but a lot of this looks like very old school Tolkien artistic vision. Would you agree with that, or what
I
would you
think
say?
that's also I think that's a license thing, because licenses are really weird with board games and card games, where I think Cryptozoic might own the licenses to the pictures from the movies. So they have their own Lord of the Rings. There's a deck building game for Lord of the Rings that has all three movies have their own deck building, and I believe they also have a Hobbit deck building game, which is very, very good. Those three games are good, but the pictures themselves, I think, are licensed through there. Whereas I think the book universe, Fantasy Flight, has the licensing too.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I'm looking in the forums here, just trying to see if an iOS version has been announced. Not yet, but tons of people asking for it. I hope it's an account thing, so I can move my progress over, because I think I'm going to pull the trigger on this.
I don't know if it is Asmodee. All these board game developers, you almost can't, they almost never let you, other than from the phone to the iPad, but they almost never let you port to the PC, because that's one of the things that I get all annoyed about, because I don't want to buy things on three different.
Yeah, why would you? What kind of
This one will, I'm pretty sure this will get out on a Switch as well.
One game to rule them all. Wouldn't that be
nice?
Right there in the title.
I like what you did there.
Yeah, and they the kind of that look, that Hearthstone look, they did a really good job with Hearthstone did a good job of kind of centralizing the middle, the kind of the way the cards look. That's kind of something that's been through time. So Hearthstone kind of borrowed heavily from kind of a lot of the Magic the Gathering different looks and stuff like that too. So I'm pretty sure kind of the card look might be closer to what the actual LCG has for the Lord of the Rings, but I'm sure they all kind of invent upon themselves just for the main look, just to get everything on the cards themselves. There's only really so much you can do with that real estate.
Yeah.
I was just checking. I have a exactly $20 credit on Steam.
It's like it was made for jumping on this.
Yeah, why not? That thing's just sitting there on Steam. I got to spend it on Steam, and it might as well be something cool. And if Dan recommends it, and you know what I like about these games and what I don't, so it sounds like this is much more my.
Yeah, because what you'll like about it is it's not, you're not chasing rares. I mean, there's you're still unlocking stuff.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's really
It's not a pay to win.
That's There's no. I don't want any of that. I just want a video game that I pay for and then I play it. I don't want. Well, it's free to play, but then I don't have enough cards.
Video game.
And I don't have.
What's going to get you really stoked about it, Scott, is that tackling. This is what's cool about the thing of an LCG or a co-op against the game itself, is just using the puzzle of, all right, which one of these heroes and which one of these factions do I really want to use this challenge? Because maybe the one that I use all the time isn't going to work, because I have to go through the story, because you have to take out some of the story elements, and that's different than just using brute force to kill things. You have to use, some people will have more story points to them rather than attack points to them, and then other times you need to wipe out the board. So each different scenario and each sections of the scenario are going to have a different way, so you're going to want to have different decks set up, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, it seems neat. I think I'm gonna check it out. Brian's right though. This is like made for a tablet. Holy crap! I kind of want to play it there too. Maybe I'll get it in both places. Who knows? It's fun. It's fun to support your developers. Boink. All right. Dan, Patrice, always a pleasure hanging out with you, man. Thanks for all the recommendations, of course. And, and remind me, it's Lord of the Rings Adventure Card Game is the full name, right?
Yeah, I think it's it just came out recently, so it should be, if you look either at card games or things like that, or strategy on Steam, it should pop up pretty quickly because it is a new release.
Yeah, and I'm trying to see, this might also be on Game Pass for included in Game Pass. That may make a lot of people happy to hear that. I don't know. Anyway, Dan, anything else going on you want people to know about before we cut you loose to the world?
Oh, just check out the thing I'll pimp today is I do some work with Major Spoilers where I do a top 5 Express board games edition. One just came out this week of the top 5 games from Stronghold Games, a great game company that I think everybody should check out, and the top 5 of his company that I do like the best. So check out that top 5 on the Major Spoilers Network and at Geek Jock Blog.
Nice. Stay out of trouble and keep control of your butthole. That's what we've learned today.
Keep your chits out of your meeple.
Keep your That could be taken a lot of ways, but I like it.
Oh, so poor. Yeah, exactly.
I like it a lot. All right. I actually created us a notes link so you can put a song in if you want, just to keep your brain straight. You don't have to. But
I have the request right in front of me. So.
Oh, you do? That's perfect.
And
okay.
I think I already put the song in our deal, didn't I?
Did you?
Yes,
I don't know. Maybe
I
you
did.
Oh, okay.
The song is in our deal.
Oh, there it
Scott.
is. Yes, you did. All right. So we are done. That's going to do it for us. Brian's going to go do a rad thing. I guess overnight. You'll be back Sunday or something?
Mystery date. Yeah, I'm going to be back tomorrow. It's an overnight mystery date.
That sounds like fun.
I'll tell everybody all about it on Monday.
Today we're doing There Will Be Dungeons today at 3. The baby hasn't come yet, so we're doing it today. And the reason we're doing it today and not tomorrow is partially because the baby could come tomorrow, but also I have family pictures tomorrow. So we've squeezed it into Saturday, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. tonight, right here, if you are inclined to catch that.
What color will you all be wearing for these family photos?
Taylor has us in, forest green and denim, I think. It's not all matchy match. It's just
just stick to these colors. But not everybody's like, all right, you need to wear a forest green T-shirt and then a pair of denim pants.
Yeah,
it could be
and everyone's annoyed by it except my mom, or except Kim, who thinks this is a good idea. But all the kids want to wear like whatever they want to wear.
I like this. I think it's cool that you guys do this.
Yeah, and the baby, Wicked Truth asking who the baby is. It's Kristen, who's part of our There Will Be Dungeon show. She is very due. Post due by a few days, so she's ready to pop.
And what's the baby using?
The baby's using 25. And what else? It's a boy, and he will probably not join our campaign for many years, is my thinking. So we'll see how that goes.
He will be an NPC, though.
Yes, indeed. All right, explain this song that you've got, and we'll play it for people.
Wow. Explain a song. Chris in Toronto wrote in, said, August 28th was my good friend Ryan's birthday. He'll probably never hear this, but I thought I'd give him a shout out nonetheless. Happy birthday, Ryan, says Chris in Toronto. That's why I was able to just kind of put this in when I didn't have a song already queued up. It's perfect. Chris says that he likes Springsteen. Any faster paced Springsteen cover would be awesome. Very good. So no covers of My Hometown or I'm on Fire or Atlantic City or 4th of July. I got you. I see exactly what you mean. All right, no problem.
How about Born in the USA? Maybe.
Born in the USA is medium tempo.
Okay.
This guy right here, this is an up tempo number. Perfect for a doggy death dedication. This is probably one of my favorite fast-paced Bruce Springsteen songs. Working on the Highway. This is it's fast paced when the Boss does it. That's fast paced when the Bone Breakers do it, who's you're going to hear right now. It came out in 2016 on their self-titled album. Here are the Bone Breakers, Working on the Highway.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Frog Pants Network. Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
So you should really be nice to me.
There you go. Little hint at the next film sack.
Yeah.
All right.
Very good. And don't forget to add the songs, Scott. Add the songs.
I will absolutely.
Or song.
Yeah, I'll totally add it. I haven't missed one in a couple of weeks, so people can calm themselves. I've got a system now.
Great.
It's good. All right. Titles, yeah?
Titles.
Okay.
Pulling it up right now.
Same.
Showbot.
Any need to close this tab. There we go. All right. What do we have here? No more afternoon delight.
The morning boop sack. No more afternoon delight. That's good.
That's not bad.
Because it works for, both Tmspm and the discussion about time.
That's right. What is today's episode? 1787, right? Yeah. There we go. And then
I believe you. I wasn't going to go.
You'll take my word for it.
Yeah.
Whatever toots your bag. We'll put that in there, sure. Although try to put your capitalizations in, people. I don't want to go fix all your typos. Let's see.
What would Dunaway do?
Goes 25. Dan, the dessert man. Maybe I'll put that in for his thing. Don't look up reverse Brian. Yeah, that's a good one, Zoe. Put that.
That's good. Yeah. The morning boop sack.
Oh yeah. Video game. Sure. Let's see.
Ross with the big back.
What the heck? What was that? Oh, when I was talking
you're
about
saying Ross has the big back, and that's why he's on the edge of the couch.
How far down is that one? Oh, there it is.
Yep.
I found it. It was deep.
It's not a snacking cheese.
Over the counter butthole control.
Lot of butthole titles.
Well, we kind of served him right up for those, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
It was over in 3 beats. I ain't going on that date again. I like that. Oh no, I did the wrong one. Keep the one it gave me. Beat your inch. Let's see. I think that's probably
swatch beats.
Probably good here. Let's see if there's anything else that jumps out. Stop.
I guess I do need to pull up the show notes because that's where the read is going to be.
Oh, right. Yeah, you'll have to read it.
Yeah.
And then we'll say Dan, the dessert man.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And more. Okay. Here we go. Let me record it. That'd be good.
2 S's in dessert, by the way.
Oh, did I put desert?
The desert man.
Oh, yeah, I did. All right, here we go. It starts in 3, 2, 1. Coming up on Tmspm, whatever toots your bag.
Don't look up reverse Brian.
Video game.
Ross with the big back.
Over-the-counter butthole control.
Beat your inch.
Stop poking the homeless.
Dan, the dessert man, and more on this episode of TMS PM.
I don't know why it beat your inch made me laugh. It did, though.
Beat your inch? Because I asked us this question. Beat your inch?
Right, here we go. Coming up on... All right, let me copy that out. Save that. Put it over here. Mark it. Save it. Yeah!
Oh, cool.
All right, go have fun on your date.
I will.
Hubba.
Hubba.
I'm sure it'll be a good time. All right, y'all. Oh, we had that up the whole time. Sorry. That's going to do it. Again, today, 3 o'clock. We'll be here about 3 hours and 15 minutes. 1, 2, 3. And we'll do, there will be dungeons today, which is good because we left it on a serious hanger, and I was worried that we wouldn't have Kristen back. So now that she is, I think that'll be a good thing. Mom Cube, I bet I did get your voicemail. I just haven't checked them in about a week, so I just need to go check them. Yeah, Wiki Kitten, just today only. She didn't have the baby yet, and I have a thing tomorrow, so we had to push it to today. So one time, I better change it on the calendar. I just realized I haven't done that. It was kind of last second, this whole thing with the pregnancy and whatnot. Nobody quite knew what was going on. So we're going to put there will be dungeons over here and do this event only. Change it to 3 p.m. This event only. Okay. All right. I believe... Oh, I should have put this on there too. Anyway, whatever. The schedule's good from here on forward. I'm never going to look like a grandpa. I'm going to always look like I'm too young for having a grandkid. Until I'm not, and then maybe I'll have 5 or 6 of those by then. I don't know. It's a weird thing to think about. I don't like thinking about it. Carter, what are you doing? Homework? Psh, like a dutiful... What are you in college now? Super senior? That means you're just like spreading it out and getting it done when you can, that kind of thing? So... I should have graduated this year, but didn't. You didn't take enough credits last time? No. Oh. Whatever, she's killing it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, I will be a great-grandpa in 25 years. Think of that. That's weird. I'll still be kind of young. For grandpa, yeah. For being a great-grandpa, right? Yeah. If he has a kid by 25, then yeah. If he has a kid by 25, if Van has a kid by 25, I will be a great-grandpa, and I will still be relatively young. I'll be doing cruises all the time. 75. Will I be 75? You'll be younger than Ponca. I'll be younger than my wife's dad. That's weird. I don't like to think about it. I don't. But if you think about it this way, that's another full time that World of Warcraft has existed, which is 15 years, plus another 10 on top of that. It's almost 2 full World of Warcraft releases of time. That's a weird thing to think about. Everything's defined by video game time. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day. We shall see you all soon. And you're great. Bye.